I'm going to show you how to make a transforming character. I'm going to do a quick overview, then I'm going to show you how to implement it for yourself, and then I'm going to go over exactly how it works. So what's going on here exactly? Let me show you. Literally just there's two characters that are off, one that is on, and the two that are off are just teleporting to the one that's on. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. The fact that powered off objects can teleport as long as the teleporter is outside of that object makes this really, really easy. Before I go into exactly how this works, let me show you how to do this yourself. So first step is to find this on the Dreamiverse. The link is in the description. The second step is how do you add a character? So I'm going to show you that. Let me find a character off the Dreamiverse. Oh, the Mecha Whale. Okay, yeah, let's do the Mecha Whale. If we can get this to work, we should be able to get anything to work. So let's delete this. And now we have our character. We have this thing. This is a group, okay? This is a group. It has the main microchip and then every character grouped in. The first step is to power this off, all right? It needs to be powered off. Next, we're going to put a tag inside of it. This tag is called storage position. I called it that because when the character is not being used, it's kind of being like stored. And when it is being used, this storage position tag is the location of the other ones, right? So we want this to be there, right about there. Okay, so the storage position tag is in the character. What's next? We need to group this in. There we go. Okay, the character's grouped in. We need to increase the selector. Obviously, you only need to do this if you're adding a fourth character. So the selector is basically how many different transformations there are. I'm adding a fourth one. And I'm going to just copy and paste this chip. This chip is on when you are currently that character. So what is this keyframe? This will be labeled after the video, but this keyframe, you can see it turns off this teleporter. So what is this teleporter? This teleporter is on when the character is not transformed, when you're not playing as the character. While you're one character, all of the other characters are teleported to your main character, and they kind of just follow you around. That's how it works. So this keyframe, it needs to do two things. It needs to turn off our teleporter, which this is the ball one. We want one for the whale. Okay. And it also needs to turn on the whale because, again, this chip is on when we are transformed into it. So if this chip is on, we turn on the whale. Not the ball. Is that it? No, we need to make sure, we need to link the teleporter. So I'm going to scope in one time and then link it to the whale. Okay, so it's not teleporting. You can clearly see it's not teleporting. Why isn't it teleporting? Okay, I think I know why. So I was doing this, which is the entire group, which included this little ammo bullet thing. We don't want that. So we're going to teleport, not this entire group, we're gonna scope in once. And notice how now when we open this, it's the character. So we wanna teleport the character, and the character should be off. Well, actually, aren't we already turning the group off? Yeah, we're already turning the group off. Okay, that does work. That does work. And notice how the bullet doesn't teleport. Before we were teleporting the entire group, but the whale didn't move, which makes sense. Now you can see that the whale is indeed teleporting even when it's powered off. So again, you can't teleport the group. It needs to be the actual character. Power off the entire group, but teleport just the character. There's one more thing, and this is the last step. You need to make the controller sensor remote controlled. It needs to be remote controlled because this is the controller sensor that we possess, the main one. So now when we play, this should just work. And there you go. So we are successfully transforming into our mecha whale. Now the camera is a little wonky, but we can change that. So if we go and add a new keyframe, let's name this one camera settings. So camera settings, and then let's change the camera settings. So I think we want to increase the distance a little bit and definitely increase the height. And let's see what that looks like. There you go. So now when we transform, the camera settings actually change, which is pretty nice. Again, it's really unfortunate that the camera that the camera's clipping with the actual model, but I mean, the solution would just be to use a custom camera rig. Although you're not going to run into that issue as long as your character isn't giant. So you know what? I mean, we can make the character smaller. Let's just do that, honestly. He's so cute now. There you go. No more camera issues. Now we don't need the camera keyframe though. But all right, that should be pretty good. We've successfully added our own character to this. And I guess like one more thing, you don't need to have these 3 original ones. Hopefully that's obvious. What I personally would do is add your transformations and then just delete the old ones. What I wouldn't do is delete everything and then do it from scratch, okay? I would add your stuff and then delete the original ones. If you guys have any questions about how to implement this, consider watching the next part of this video. But if you don't want to do that, or the next part of this video, which is the explanation of how this works, doesn't answer your question, definitely leave a comment, please, or go to my Discord. With that said, let's get started. Let's start the second part of this video, which is explaining how this works. So how does it work? There are two like main things. The characters, right? Which is one. And then the chip, the main chip. Let's go over the characters first. So with the characters, literally, and I mean this, literally the only 2 things that are different that I've added is a single tag and turning the controller sensor to remote controllable. That is it. I have not done anything else. Well, I guess that's not true. I got rid of the dying and the respawning because I feel like that'll mess it up. Because like if one of the characters that you're transforming to dies, it'll be a little weird. Handle that how you want to. But the 2 things, again, remote controllable, the tag. Remote controllable because this is the controller sensor in the main chip that the imp possesses. But we still need to control the characters. Okay, those are the characters. It's that easy. You just power them off. But the actual logic is in here. Let's start with the controller sensor. This is going to possess the imp, possessable, and L1 and R1 are how I am transforming, which lets me cycle through the selector pretty easily. You can do this however you want. It can be on button presses. It can be automatic. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. When we press L1 or R1, in this chip, it's literally just 2 nodes. It both changes the selector position and plays this timeline. Universal transform effect. It emits the effect on this chip and it turns on a tag. I'm going to make this remote controllable just so I can show this to you guys in edit mode. So if I press R1 or L1, and you can see the character down there, this plays. So this is what's playing the effect every single time. Also, the tag is turned on. What is this tag doing? What is this tag doing? Transforming. When the transform tag is on, it turns this NOT gate off, which turns this chip off, which does not allow signals to go through. What happens if we get rid of that? Well, you can just change instantly as fast as possible, and the transformation effect doesn't have time to play. Maybe you want that, I don't know, but this way we have a set time for the effect to actually play, and it prevents spamming of the characters. So that's how that works. That's how the cycling works. What about when we're on something? Like what about these chips? If we're in A, that means A, I've linked to the tall boy. B is shoddy. I can't even say that with a straight face. B is the little platformer puppet. C is the ball, and D we just added is the mecha well. When we're in A, what happens? So this keyframe does two things. It powers on the puppet. Okay, so it's normally off. We power on the puppet, and we power off this teleporter. Why do we have a teleporter on this chip? What's going on? This teleporter is teleporting this puppet to the storage position. Now, if you remember, we put the storage position tag in every single puppet. Only one of them is on though, because only one of these chips are on. And these chips keyframe on the puppets. So only one puppet is on, only one storage position tag is on. So all these teleporters will teleport to that one chip. And it just so happens that makes all the off puppets teleport to the active puppet. We need this to happen so when you're transforming, it's smooth. The puppet like replaces it instantly. Oh, and one more thing. Well, why are we turning it off? Well, if we don't turn it off, it'll be teleporting to itself, and that disables all animations, apparently. I mean, I can show you. So when it's teleporting to itself, this is what happens. So what about this? This is a custom transformation effect. This transformation effect only plays when you transform into this specific puppet. So in this example, I've just put a sound, and it's the same exact logic, guys, for all of these characters. And there's pretty much just one more thing, and it's this chip. How is this chip following? It's a floating chip. How is it following everything? I actually recently figured this out. You can teleport just logic chips. It's not enough to just put the teleporter in it. You actually have to link the teleporter to the chip, and then the chip teleports. It's really cool. So I have the teleporter, and it's teleporting to storage position, which is, again, the active puppet. Maybe that's what I should call the tag instead, active puppet. I probably should do that, but it's too late now. So that's how the chip always stays where it needs to. Guys, I think that covers it. It's a relatively straightforward idea, I guess. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope this helps. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's pretty smooth, to be honest. So yeah, again, ask any questions in the comments. Ask any questions in my Discord. I'd love to help. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. I just wanna be with